the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains.
Coming to you straight from San Diego, California. Let's welcome our host, April Mahoney.
Real good caregiver, you know, and so I admonish you. All right, so let's do this again. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. How are you? You doing good? I'm doing good too. I've got a fantastic guest from Canada. She was born in Mexico, and her family is from Germany, and I'm telling you, she's going to talk about some money, but she's also going to talk about something else. You know, her husband contracted dementia at 35. Who does that? And, you know, living with that and understanding the signs and the symptoms, but still being able to be a very independent woman and to have a career and to be an author. So without further ado, Brains, we want to go ahead and welcome our guest, Katherine Thiessen, to the Edge. Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much, April. I'm good. I'm fortunate to be here with you and have this conversation with your brains. I'm looking forward for this.
Oh, that's good. See, she's right on it. When they say brains, I'm telling you, it just wakes up my soul. So we're going to have a great conversation today. And, you know, Katherine is really, really a smart lady. I love her accent. Look at her in that blue. She's striking. Tell us a little bit about you being born in Mexico and your world travels, and also about not just the acculturation, but the assimilation in those different cultures.
Okay, great. So to start off, yes, I was born and raised in Mexico, although my ancestors are from Germany, but I never got to see Germany so far, although I traveled the world. So Germany just has not been my point of direction as of now, but it's on my bucket list for sure. And so what I got though from being having that connection, the ancestors from Germany, I speak fluently 2 German languages, which my parents were very very proud of, that they could pass that on to the kids. And I passed that on to my kids. So both my boys, I have 2 boys, they're in their 20s, and both are fluent in 4 languages.
Wow.
Yeah, so I passed that on to them as well. Now, growing up in Mexico, of course, we were in a Spanish country, but it's a third world country, and it has the good thing and the bad thing. I know we had not all the access to what we have in Canada, but when it comes to education, our grade 8 was what we have in Canada, grade 12. Like we had the same curriculum, and which was very good. Technology is very, very advanced in Mexico. So those were the things that were very, very good. And another thing was also people pay in cash. What they have. What you see, they own.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So
it's none of that trickery with all of that. And you know what else they do? It is via to V. So if I purchase from you, I purchase from you. I don't have to go to the bank to do all of that. But Mexico is very strict, because I have some friends down here in Mexico and they have some property. They can only lease the land for 99 years. And the federales came in there and cleaned them out. So at least I can say, and I respect that. Solidarity is yours and you own it. And yeah, they don't do that. They do not do that.
Yeah, that's but you know what, they look over the border and say, like, well, the US can do this and they do that, why not adapt things? So they get them and getting more into that, especially where I grew up in the neighbor state from just off the border. And so we were very Americanized when it came to shopping centers, food, like the whole culture was more Americanized than further south in Mexico, where people go and enjoy the sunshine. It's completely different, although all those resorts are very Americanized too.
Okay, but exactly where in Mexico were you though?
So in Chihuahua.
Chihuahua,
so,
okay.
Remember the Chihuahua puppy?
I know what Chihuahua is. Tecate, girl, San Quintin, all that.
Yes.
I've been to Mexico many times. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
right near San Diego. So I appreciate the culture. They're also indigenous people. Did you know that, Brains? Okay. Tribal
Yeah.
people, just like Africans, they are indigenous tribal people. But that's a whole nother show. Anyway, let's fast forward to your move to Canada. Tell us a little bit about that, and let's talk about the money.
Oh, I love that. I'm the money doctor. So yeah, so just a joke. But anyway, so I usually wear a pin where it says MD. I'm a marketing director in my company, and so I get often this question: Are you a medical doctor? I said, oh, well, no, I'm a money doctor.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I deal with finances, and I'm passionate about the financial literacy campaign that I'm part of. So, but before that, so yes, I grew up in Mexico on a farm. So, going to school, I was very independent from a very young age. In fact, I had to take care of my younger three siblings. I'm from a family of seven, three older and three younger. And I was actually in charge of my younger siblings to make sure they would get ready for school, pack the lunch, actually get to school and get back safe. So a lot of responsibilities at a very young age. And coming home from school, it was not go and do your homework, go and do your chores. That was our homework.
Right.
I never did homework. I had good grades without it. Luckily, but I never cared for actually going into the books because of homework. But I was a reader, so I loved to read. So I was a lot in books, but not in my homework. It was chores, and then the little free time that we got, that was I would be reading, or I did some
music. Get into finance. How did you start running numbers and get into money?
Okay, I think I was lucky, and because of my parents were very good with their money. So they would pass on what they knew, although we didn't talk much about money at home. But of course, there was never debt. What my parents had, they owned. And we would never, even that we wanted things, they would not allow us to get things because it was not on our budget. And we had to stay within that budget. It was very good. So I knew how to budget from a very young age and knew how to deal with money. And then, of course, my whole life in Mexico, it was just one step at a time. You make more, you can buy more, but you never get over your budget because there's no such things you can go and get into debt. So what you have access to, it's with your money.
Okay, so now you're working with people, but there's also an emotional component to money. Okay,
absolutely.
It's more than being smart. It's about teaching your money how to work for you. Mm-hmm. And I've had this conversation with friends and family alike. It is a vehicle of exchange. And so, of course, you don't want to be in debt. But then there's people that don't do anything with their money. They just sit on it. And it's, it's not a goose sitting on a golden egg. You want it to hatch.
Exactly.
So how do you encourage your people to kind of get through that psychological part before you can really get them into the discipline part of the money?
That's a very good question, April. So now, for my background is being careful with money, but then when I moved to Canada in 2009, it was like a wake-up call of what now? Because I didn't understand the money game in Canada. I didn't understand what we have here, the RESP or RSP, what you guys in the US have, the 401k or college funds. I didn't understand those plans. And when I looked into savings and investments, we got actually 12% on our checking account. If I had money in our bank, in Mexico, I got 12% in my checking account. And I come to Canada and there's like zero, and I just didn't get it. So
no, it's not zero. It's zero, and then they charging you fees, girl.
Exactly. So they do charge fees in Mexico too, but way back then it was just like, of course it has changed over time, and finances are dealt with differently in Mexico now than they were 10 years ago. So they look just like Canada, States, they do this, let's do that too. But
right.
But anyway, it was so different. When I came to Canada, it was so different. And of course, I would not be able to get into debt in Canada because I had no credit, and I needed credit history to get into, which was good. But I just knew one thing: I needed to learn how the money works. And and where I started, just I always had been a reader, so I just went into books, and every single book I could get my hand on finances, I got it. I took a course. It was a couple weeks, I think 6-week course or something like that, that I would go to. I had to pay for the course. And of course, it gave me a lot of information. But then at the end of the course, there was no follow up. There was no implementation. I still felt stuck.
Right.
And until I found the company I work with right now, which is World Financial Group. And they actually sat down with me and helped me implement now what I had learned and take care of my finances in a proper way. And I really fell in love with that, because now I can educate, I can show people what they can do with their money, but then also guide them and hold their hand while they are in that process of getting discipline and now starting to build their financial plan. And it definitely is not just saving or investing. There's a whole structure to it, which often people, when I first meet them, and they don't understand that. They think, okay, here, I have some savings.
What else they don't understand and what they don't realize is when there's something that happens in the family. Brains, okay, I'm still reeling from the death of Kobe Bryant, okay? Everything in the world to live for, money is no object, to the point where you could take a helicopter. Okay, now I'm telling you, I live here, from where the plane allegedly crashed and where he lives, in a car on a good day in LA would have took you maybe an hour because so much traffic. But when you can afford to take a helicopter and money is no option, you still have to look at what it is to be, a whole person, because you're going to have to take care of people. They don't die sometimes. They get sick and they get disabled. And, I want to talk a little bit about that, because that's very, very important. That's a part of your story as well, is that your husband contracted dementia at the age of 35.
That's correct.
Wow. I couldn't even imagine that, because the progression. How old is he now?
He is now 55.
Wow.
And has been living for 20 years now with dementia. He's doing fairly well, although there are changes in his health. But he is still capable of doing a lot of things by himself, but he can't be by himself because of the dementia and the stage and he is right now. So yeah, it is a sad story, but all that it also shaped my life and made me stronger where I am today. And it's a sad story, but like you said, April, it's life happens to us. There is nothing secure, there's nothing safe in this world, and all we can do is live in the moment and be happy, make the very best out of right now, right today. And there's absolutely nothing better than live in the moment and just really enjoy life and the moment, because tomorrow doesn't matter yet. Yesterday is gone. And all I can now live as if I would live forever, but also live as this would be my very last day.
I know.
Right?
And it's so serene. So you've written a book. Girl, show us that book.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me
yes.
see.
So this is my book.
All right, hold it there so we can see it. Are you looking at that, Brains? It says, write your own paycheck. What? You are the boss, okay? That's another thing. When you are in business, you write your own checks. You check your own bank statement, okay? That's money 101, because somebody will trick you out of it. Am I right or wrong, Katherine?
Absolutely right. So, write your own paycheck. And I'm really very fascinated about that, because I do believe everybody can do that. You may not know or understand how, right. But believe me, I have been, and for many years, I have been my own boss. I'm completely independent. And that's also why I write the book. It's not about the money. It is about a mindset. You work for yourself. Like, it's freedom of time. Right. Yeah, you may go through financial ups and downs. That's okay. You still do it if you work for someone, but it gives you that freedom of time. And you know, I write in my book a lot about, I have a lot of financial nuggets there, the whole planning, the whole structuring and all that stuff. But what I really focus on is the psychology behind why to do that, and also the whole behavior, the way you behave around your money, around your life, your family, social, spiritual, everything. It goes hand in hand. It's not just one thing or just the
Money
other.
is just the vehicle that you're using. That's it.
Yes,
It's the drug. Some people it's alcohol, some people it's drugs, some people it's sex, some people it's food. You know, so it just depends on how you want to show up in the world. Well, you are absolutely fascinating from cover to cover. Tell my brains how to get a copy of your book and how to get in contact with you, Katherine Thiessen.
okay, so actually you can write me an email. So my website is not up yet, although you can find me on Kathy, which is KATHY 360.com. So, and there you find all my information, how to reach me. You can call me, you can email me, you can text me. You find me on Instagram, you find me on LinkedIn. So, but the information is all there. So again, it's Kathy360.com, Kathy with a K, THY, 360.com. And I can have my book for $10 plus shipping and handling. And you can order it by sending me an email and your address, and I will ship it to you, all the information that you need for that. I want you to have my book. I also do online coaching and training, and I'm working on a program right now, very, very broad, and just for everyone who is interested in developing more self-esteem, maybe get some questions answered on health, on psychology. I'm not that psychologist, but I do have a lot of training on mind building. I
And you
started.
got a lot of life experience too. I mean, you know,
Exactly.
you've seen a lot happen and you've traveled the world. So, you know, Kathy, it's really important, Brains. I want you to go out and get the book. She's going to donate one to our swag bag. You know, we get that. And then you can get also a coffee mug or a book bag. You know, we got merchandise here on the edge. But the greatest piece of merchandise you can have is the information that you get, and you have provided it to us. Thank you so much for being here on the edge, Kathy Thiessen. You're awesome sauce. When you have your beta program or you roll out a program, send us the link. We'll share it here on the edge with you. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, April. Thank you,
All right.
Brains.
Bye, Brains. I love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.